This is the story of the last 24 hours of Chief Samuel Ladoke Akintola, how he gallantly resisted the coup plotters and how he was finally subdued and killed. Welcome to this edition of Hispel Media. My name is Gabriel Adidia. It was the early hours of January 15, 1966, and the air in the Premier's Lodge, Ibadan, hung heavy with tension. Gunfire had shattered the pre-dawn calm. Soldiers, dozens of them, swarmed the compound, their voices backing orders in the darkness. Inside, behind heavy wardrobes dragged into place as makeshift shield, a family huddled in terror. But one man refused to cower. Chief Samuel Ladoke Akintola, the Premier of the Western Region, a lawyer, orator, and the 13th Are Onaka Kanfo of Yoruba land, a title steeped in centuries of warrior tradition, stood up. "I will face them, better me than all of you wiped out," he told his loved ones. He stepped out with his assault rifle into the hail of bullets. Now listen. Of all the prominent Nigerians killed that night in Nigeria's first military coup, it was only Akintola that died fighting back. His story is one of extraordinary rise, bitter political rupture, and a final defiant act of courage. Don't forget to use a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with friends and family on social media. Thank you. To understand what happened during his last hours, we must first trace back to his early beginning. Samuel Ladoke Akintola was born on July 10, 1910 in Ogbomoso, in what was then the British Protectorate of Southern Nigeria. He emerged from a family of traders into law and national public service. His father was Akintola Akimbola and his mother was Akanke. His family was famous for military history and trading and had considerable wealth to show. Owing to their business demands, the family briefly relocated to Minna in present-day Niger State around 1914. Here, young Akintola received his first formal education at the Church Missionary Society School. He socialized with Hausa children of his age and became fluent in Hausa language. His father's absence during the 1918 Adubi War in Abeokuta delayed the family's return. But by 1922, the boy was back in Ogbomoso, living with his paternal grandfather. He attended Baptist Day School, then entered Baptist College and Seminary in Ogbomoso in 1925 and completed his secondary education in 1930. Akintola was no ordinary student. He was brilliant and multilingual. He spoke English, Yoruba, Nupe, and Hausa language fluently. After attending Western education, he qualified as a teacher and was posted to the prestigious Baptist Academy in Lagos. For 12 unbroken years, from 1930 to 1942, he taught general science, biology, and Bible knowledge while serving as housemaster. He was active in the Baptist Teachers Union and the Nigerian youth movement, rubbing shoulders with emerging nationalists. During this period, an event occurred which ended his quiet life as a teacher, and he resigned in protest. Two of his colleagues, namely Mr. Eswa Ogunjumo and Mr. Okanla, were dismissed. After resigning from teaching, he worked briefly with the Nigerian Railway Corporation before joining the staff of the Daily Service newspaper in 1942. With the backing of one of the shareholders, Chief Akintola Maja, he rose quickly to editor's position. He even founded Iroyin Yoruba, a newspaper in the Yoruba language showcasing his skills as a communicator and his deep cultural roots. A Baptist lay preacher, conservative by temperament yet intellectually restless, Akintola was already a man of many parts. He was a teacher, a journalist, a linguist, and a budding political voice. In 1946, a British scholarship took him to the United Kingdom, where he studied public administration and law. He was later called to the bar at the Inner Temple. Thereafter, he returned to Nigeria in about 1950, ready for bigger stages. He formed a legal partnership with figures like Chief Chris Ogumajo, Ode Thomas, and Michael Odesanya, and was handling land and civic cases. But politics would soon claim him entirely. He teamed up with other Western-educated elite to co-found the Action Group AG under Chief Obafemi Awolowo. As the party's first legal advisor, Akintola rose rapidly. After the death of Bode Thomas, he defeated Arthur Prest in a primary to become deputy leader in 1953. At the federal level, he served as Minister of Labour from 1952, then took portfolio in health and communications and aviation. In the Western region at that time, however, he remained in opposition in the Federal House while Awolowo ran the regional government. His oratory, fiery, precise, and laced with Yoruba proverbs made him a crowd favorite and a formidable parliamentarian. By 1959, when Awolowo moved to the federal opposition after the Action Group's disappointing performance in national elections, Akintola succeeded him as a premier of the Western region. This was a heady time. Under his watch, the region pioneered Africa's first television service, the Western Nigeria Television, and expanded free education. Remarkable infrastructures like the Cocoa House in Ibadan and Premier Hotel were constructed under his watch. In 1962, under his leadership, the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, was founded. Akintola presented himself as a pragmatic conservative. He focused on regional development and business interest, in contrast to Awolowo's growing embrace of democratic socialism and national ambitions. For a very short while, the partnership seemed workable, but beneath the surface, fault lines were widening. The rift that would define and ultimately destroy Akintola's career began as a mix of ideology, personality, and raw ambition. Awolowo favored a broad national strategy, including outreach to northern minorities and a socialist platform. But Akintola argued for a coalition with the Northern People's Congress (NPC) to protect Yoruba interests. He believed Yoruba interests were being eclipsed by the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons (NCNC) in the federal government. He opposed the Action Group's formal adoption of democratic socialism, preferring a more market-oriented regional focus approach. From there, mutual suspicions grew. Awolowo accused his deputy of plotting to supplant himself, but Akintola felt micromanaged and sidelined. At the party's convention in Jos in February 1962, the split became public. Akintola and his supporters walked out. What followed was a vote of no confidence by the party. In May 1962, chaos erupted on the floor of the Western House of Assembly as factions tried to remove him as premier. The federal government under Prime Minister Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, dominated by the NPC and wary of Awolowo, declared a state of emergency in the West. Following the emergency, Dr. Moses A. Majokodomi was appointed as administrator. But after a legal battle that reached the Privy Council in London, Akintola was restored in 1963. Then, Akintola formed the Nigerian National Democratic Party (NNDP) and forged an alliance with the NPC. That was where it got worse. Now, the 1965 regional elections sealed the tragedy. Akintola's NNDP was declared winner amid widespread allegations of rigging, thuggery, and ballot stuffing. Opposition strongholds erupted in violence. This violence was infamously called Operation Wetie, for the practice of soaking opposition in petrol and setting them ablaze. The Western region descended into near anarchy with arson, assassinations, and protests that undermined public faith in the First Republic. To many Nigerians, Akintola had become the face of electoral fraud and northern influence domination in the Southwest. Yet, his supporters saw a man fighting for stability and Yoruba economic leverage against perceived Igbo ascendancy in federal institutions. Although the crisis was not one man's making, but Akintola's role in the NNDP-NPC alliance and the disputed election made him a lightning rod. Now, look at what happened. As 1965 bled into 1966, rumors of military discontent swelled. On or around 14th January 1966, just a day before the coup, Akintola made a fateful trip to Kaduna. Fresh from Umrah, Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto and Premier of the Northern region, had returned home. Akintola flew in, phoned ahead, and was met at the airport by Bello's aides and driver, Shehu Aliyu Maradun. The two leaders met privately at Bello's residence. But according to Maradun, who overheard the conversation, Akintola bluntly asked if Bello knew the military was plotting to overthrow their government. Bello said he was unaware and asked what Akintola intended to do. Akintola revealed his plan. He had brought an aircraft and urged that they both flee the country immediately. But Bello refused outright, saying, "I am not going to leave Nigeria because some people want to overthrow my government." He offered Akintola support to escape to any neighboring country of his choice. But the Sardauna's calm courage changed everything. Akintola told him, "I am going back to Ibadan, and anything that would happen to you should also happen to me." He abandoned his escape plan and returned home. As you will see shortly, that decision sealed his faith. So, what happened back in Ibadan? Back in Ibadan, Akintola spent the evening of 14th January at the Premier's Lodge. In the small hours of January 15, Captain Emmanuel Nwoboshi led a detachment of soldiers in an assault on the residence as part of the coordinated young major's coup. The soldiers surrounded the lodge, demanding the Premier to surrender. Captain Nwoboshi reportedly shouted, "Akintola, calm down. You are under lawful arrest by the army on orders from Headquarters 2 Brigade." But what followed was no quiet arrest. Akintola was ready for them. Here, there are two accounts of what happened. First, inside the building, Akintola's family, including his son Abayomi and daughters-in-law, begged him to stay hidden. They barricaded themselves in a room, pushed heavy wardrobes against the wall for cover as sporadic gunfire wrecked the building. Bullets tore through windows and doors. The siege dragged on for hours, with the family describing it as lasting almost 20 hours amidst the chaos. But Akintola would not remain passive. According to his son, Ambassador Abayomi Akintola, who recounted the events publicly at a 2016 lecture at Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Lautech in Ogbomoso, the Premier declared he would confront the attackers rather than allow them to massacre everyone. He stepped out to meet them. The soldiers, stunned that anyone could have survived the intense barrage, initially fell back in fear. None of the family members hiding with him were injured. But when the family finally emerged around 7 a.m., they discovered Akintola's body at the entrance lying in a pool of his own blood. His body was not mutilated as some loud rumors later claimed. He was abandoned where he fell. Now, the second account added texture to the heroism. The report is that Akintola, true to his warrior title, had armed himself and opened fire first from inside his bedroom with a submachine gun. He shoots continuously through the closed door in a fierce exchange. When his ammunition was exhausted, the gun battle ended with him being shot down. Either way, the consensus in both family testimony and coup histories is clear. Unlike Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa and other leaders who were taken by surprise that night, Akintola resisted the plotters. He fought back verbally, physically, defiantly, embodying the Are Ona Kakanfo spirit to the very last. Though Captain Nwoboshi's team completed their mission, but the Premier of the West did not go quietly. Akintola's body was later taken to Ogbomoso and buried on the 23rd of January 1966 amid money that united even political foes. The coup he had glimpsed in Kaduna succeeded in toppling the First Republic but failed to install the plotters' intended government and was followed by a counter-coup and a violent civil war. His death at the age of 55 marked the violent end of an era and the beginning of military rule in Nigeria. Now, talking of his legacy, Samuel Ladoke Akintola remains a polarizing figure in Nigeria's politics of that era. While he is praised by some as a pragmatic builder and a defender of Yoruba interests, he is criticized by others for the crisis and alleged rigging that destabilized the region and helped precipitate the coup. Yet, the final chapter of his life transcends politics. In an age when many leaders were caught unprepared, the Areona Kakanfo chose to stand and fight. Its son's words captures the human cost, a father who preferred to die on his feet rather than allow the slaughter of his entire family. So, what do you think about this man? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Click here for a full coverage of the Western region crisis, or here for the story of Awolowo. Now, do you have any question or suggestion? Drop it in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, share with friends and family on social media, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.